Welcome back to FHN. I'm Tommy Donlin. We're in the bait lab brought to you by Max Lure, and today we're going to talk about trolling spoons for salmon. Okay, now if you look at the table here, I've got almost, I would say, 70% of the spoons for salmon known to man. And I'm going to walk through each type of these spoons. We're going to talk about sizes. We're going to talk about colors, how to rig them, how to scent them. I mean, if you watch this how-to and you're struggling afterwards, please give us a call or shoot us a message. Okay. The first thing that you'll notice when you look at the table is I've got all sorts of different sizes. So I'm just going to kind of walk you around the table right here. This right here, you're going to notice a lot of Irish cream on this table. This is a spoon from Silver Horde that we have just done absolutely phenomenal with. It's got a pearl white, green edge, UV on this side, glow on that side. You're going to notice it all over the table. Okay, let me just something right here. Don't judge me, okay? I know some of these hooks got some rust on them. They've sat in the box a little bit. Don't worry, I'm going to change out those hooks, but I want to walk you through these first. Okay, come over here. You've got your Coho Killer. Okay, now you don't just take this out of the package and run it. I'm going to show you how to rig this guy as well. Your Coho Killer is for when they're on those micro baits. We were running them last week in CQ, and we were getting up, 20, 21, 22 pound Chinook. So don't think that, if you're targeting big fish, you have to run big gear. That's absolutely not the case. Okay, you can always size it down. Along this side over here, you're going to notice some of these tail waggers. Okay, this totally does change the action of the spoon by having a hoochie in the back. Slows it down a little bit. Okay. Longer presentation, and it gives it a nice target on that hook right there. As we walk further down the table, this is a offering from Kingslayer. This is a titanium spoon. Okay, let me just tell you a little bit about our friend Titanium. You're not going to be able to bend it. Okay, so the shape that this spoon is in, this shape is going to stay this shape. So don't think that you're going to make the action that you want out of the spoon. You get what you get. Okay, and you're going to notice the profile's a little bit longer. So when you're in a lot of those candlefish areas up in the San Juans, this is the one. Okay. When we do go offshore and you get a lot of those kings and Chinook on, they're eating big herring, they're eating sardines, they're eating stuff like that, you can upsize your spoon. Okay, now there's a couple different ways to do that, a lot of different offerings. This is Atomic spoon right here. You've got your Coyote spoon right here, 5-inch, 6-inch. This is a 6-inch Atomic in the 602 color here. So you can totally increase the size of your spoon to match the hatch for what you're going after. If you want to go full commercial and they're eating just, that purple label herring, you can go Superior, big Mustad 95 170. That's the thing. The reason that spoons are so fun to fish is because you get to choose the hook that goes on the back of the spoon. And you can pick a hook that has a big throat and a big gap to it so that you have a lot of meat in that, of that fish in the hook. And if you do your job as an angler, you're going to land that fish. We don't lose a whole lot of fish on spoons. We really don't. Even with the barbless hooks, they stay hooked. So that's the beautiful thing about spoons. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the color schemes that you're going to see on the table. Obviously, we're going to fish a lot of greens, a lot of blues, right? That's predominant. One of the, as an angler, I'm constantly out of Nia Bay. We fish deep. You're going to see me run a lot of spoons with this glow backside. And if you start flipping these over, obviously all the Irish creams are glow. This is a cookies and cream that has been just absolutely beat up over the years. Is still fishing. That's glow. You can see all the teeth marks on these spoons, and you're going to see that on a lot of my spoons. If the water clarity is really good, and I'm fishing in that upper 150 feet of the water column, I'm perfectly fine running a chrome back to some of the spoons. So you'll see something like this over here that's got a chrome back. It's kind of like picking those ducks in, the dots. You pick the duck and you look for the dot. It's the same thing here. You can look and see if it's chrome or glow, but you get the drift. No pun intended. So if you're less than 150, I'd say chrome and UV, all for it. If you're fishing deep, clarity is not that good. I'm totally a big fan of glow on the backside. Something to remember there. Okay, let's skip back and talk about this Coho Killer for a second. Now, with this guy here, you're going to notice that if I put it on its side, it's got a bend to it. Okay, when you get it out of the box, it's not going to have much of a bend. So what I like to do is right where you see these two inflection points in the spoon, you're just going to take your thumbs and pinch it, and you're going to put what I would call a mean bend in this spoon to the point where it looks like that. And that's going to give it a really erratic, noticeable swing motion. Okay. You're not gonna miss it. Trust me. Okay. Now, you're going to notice right here, this leader. If I'm fishing, you got to kind of match the leader to the fishery that you're fishing. If I'm up in the San Juans and I'm targeting fish that are typically under that 20-pound category, most of the time, honestly, they're in that maybe 6 to 8 pound category for blackmouth. I'm going to drop down and I'm going to run 20-pound, 25 at most. If I'm in the ocean and I'm going to encounter kings up to 40 pounds, it's going to be a 30-pound Maxima Ultra Green show for me. Okay. Now, not all lines are created equal. Okay. I think we've talked about this before. I'm going to hit it again. Just because it says 20 pound on the spool doesn't mean that it actually tensile test strength out to 20 pounds. Maxima is really good at understanding the capability of their line. So a 20-pound Maxima Ultra Green line is really probably around 30 pound. 30 pound is probably up around 40, 45. You kind of get the picture. But that's why I run 30 pound in the summer on the spoons. Now, as far as leader length goes behind the flasher, I'm typically, for the summer kings that like a faster troll, more aggressive presentation, they're in chew mode, they're eating. I'll go anywhere from 30 inches to about 40 inches. Really don't go more than 40 inches unless for some reason I think they're line shy or I'm just trying to switch it up, and then maybe I'll lengthen that leader out to 5 or 6 feet. But I'm a big fan of keeping it sucked in a little bit closer to that flasher. 30 to 40 inches is about appropriate. Okay. One of the other things too, scent. Always use scent. Got a couple different options. Atlas mics, this stuff, this Lunker lotion right here is absolutely money. Sticks to the spoon. You're not sitting there wondering if it's washed off if you've been trolling for 20, 30 minutes. Put it on the back side of your spoon, kind of back here on the tail section, and just check it occasionally. Just to keep my spoons clean though, I do scrub them at the end of every day and make sure they're absolutely clean. Lemon Joy works. Just a little toothbrush and scrub it. Get all of this stuff off your spoons, because if you forget and you kind of leave it in the tackle box, you're going to have a gooey mess, and then you're going to smell like Jerry. Remember what I told you had that scent in his pocket? Okay, just remember that. Wash it off. Okay, let's see. Running the riggers. I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Maybe it's not a secret. When you're running a bigger spoon, okay, when you're running one of these guys, you can't just drop the handle on the downrigger ball and send the downrigger ball down at 90 miles an hour. These things have a lot of drag to them. And what happens is as that downrigger ball goes down in the water, these things drift up, okay? And if you drop the hammer on your rigger and just throw it to the bottom, this hook is going to end up above your flasher or on your downrigger. So when you're running one of these large spoons, you got to go slow. Okay, slow is pro. Don't forget that. Okay. One other thing, stacking riggers, are a great tool to stack riggers with. So when I say stacking rigger, stacking your downrigger is you've got, one presentation on the bottom, with your flasher and your spoon behind it, and say you want to run a second spoon above that flasher, you can go 30 feet up the line. And what I like to do is I'll run an inline flasher, or I'll just run the spoon by itself. If I'm running a spoon by itself on that upper rig, on that stacked rig, I'm typically going to go with something that's at least the 4-inch size, if not larger, so that it doesn't require a flasher to bring attention to the spoon. Okay, keep it 4 inch or higher. All right, that's the 2 on spoons. gotta say, this is probably one of the easiest things that you could fish for salmon. The only rigging that you have to do is to tie on a leader and put it behind your flasher. It really doesn't get any easier than that. You don't have to tie a hoochie. You're not trying to rig a bait and find that perfect roll to the bait. If your spoon's not fishing, do not hesitate to tweak it, okay? The Coho Killers are not the only ones that you can tweak. In fact, if you get a really close look at some of these 4-inch kingfishers, you'll notice that I've come here to the back and I've started to bend that tail back just to give it a more erratic motion. So kind of keep that in mind. If you're not getting bit, switch it up. You know, if you got one spoon that's getting bit and another that's not, do not hesitate to start tweaking that other spoon. Okay, you've got all the knowledge on spoons. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we are gonna go through and see Dwayne and Jordan and Josh catch Area 10 resident coho. Stay tuned.